in New York City. The Cavs, well, they went into MSG and completely dominated the Knicks. The game got so out of hand, Cavaliers players decided to attempt the water bottle challenge on the bench, where you try to flip it over and all that stuff. This was in front of everyone during play. Kyrie, he talked about it after the game.
Man, the water bottle is just like, if you land it, you're just like a legend. So I was just trying to follow in the kids' footsteps and really just, man, put my mark on the water bottle challenge, man. Oh, man, it was awesome.
Oh, man, I love this.
Good. Trace,
I
we're
love
going into this
this.
game talking about Phil and LeBron, and LeBron's
Look here, man. LeBron and his posse over there
exactly.
chilling in the fourth quarter while
that was hilarious.
they being very disrespectful, but it was good. I mean, Phil disrespected him, so that's the way, to rub it in his face.
Absolutely.
They chilling
Why
on the
not?
bench playing water bottle challenge while the game's still going on. How disrespectful can you be?
I was just
On
playing.
purpose.
I was just playing that game with my kids, but the only difference is I'm retired and I'm looking out at palm trees.
Well, listen, they needed something to do in the fourth quarter.
They certainly weren't
It wasn't no
having to play
basketball being played.
They were extremely bored during
Right?
the game.
There wasn't no hoops to be played, so hey.
And we've seen LeBron do this before, right? The dancing in Chicago and all that.
I loved it because everybody was expecting
Oh,
LeBron
yeah.
to say something. So he came out here and just did his little antics on the sideline.
Well, he said something, just not verbally.
But pretty much telling Phil, like, hey, you know what? We cool over here. You need to worry about your side.
I want to
on the
bring this
other side.
LeBron back. Can you
That
imagine if he was
was
doing this today as a 32-year-old?
He spoke a lot of words last night.
Yes, he
Right?
did.
Without having to say anything.
Yes.
All right, there's a more serious angle to the game last night, and it's what's going on with your guy, Carmelo Anthony. 2 nights ago, the man dropped 35 points to extend his team to a 4-game winning streak, and the same night, Phil Jackson goes on television and says Melo holds the ball too long.
Come on,
So then
Phil.
last night, he responds with an 8-point performance on only 9 shot attempts. That's not like him, and he was visibly frustrated afterward when he was asked about what Phil said. I mean, Chauncey, what do you think? Does Melo have to get out from under Phil? Is it time for these guys to separate? What's going on?
First of all, you can't tell me that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant didn't hold the ball 4 or 5 seconds in the shot clock. Sometimes you earn that right.
I know.
You earn that right. Secondly, I just if it working in New York means they're going to contend for a championship, it's never going to work there.
Right.
It's not going to work with Melo and Phil Jackson and that triangle. It's not going to work. It's just that simple.
Look, Melo knows, what he's up against. He had the opportunity to sign with who? Chicago,
He did.
right? So, I mean, you got to take this all in. This what comes with, being under Phil Jackson. So this what happens.
And in order for that to work, Phil has to come down and coach that team.
Well, that's not going to happen at this.
That's
You
the
can't
only
physically
way.
do it.
That's the only way.
They don't have the personnel. I don't care if he comes
Phil
down.
coaches that team and they run the triangle. That thing is dated, bro. Like
Yeah.
you got to score. You got to shoot the 3. You got to
Yeah.
score a lot of points into today's game. That's
But
over
I just
with.
think from a respect factor, with Phil being up there in the office and he's making his little comments down to Melo, Melo's not going to listen. A lot of us as players, regardless, we had Joe Dumars. We didn't agree everything that Joe said from up top.
Right.
We listened to Larry Brown because Larry Brown was the coach on the
bench.
court. He was on the
Yeah.
bench. He's the one that's in the foxhole with
Yeah,
you.
but no matter who's telling him, Melo's not changing. We're what, 14 years
That's
into
his
Melo's
game.
career? We know the game Melo plays, and you build around that instead of trying to fit him into something else.
It's hard to try to change a guy that's been playing that way for 13, 14
And is
years.
still such a good talent. Why waste him doing something you shouldn't have him be doing?
Yeah,
Or
okay,
making
waste
fun
him.
of him on television. I don't know. Chris Paul appeared on the Open Run podcast and was asked if he'd ever try to join forces with his BFFs LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. And Chris responded, quote, "Anything is possible. Definitely anything is possible." You see them here on the boat, having some nice wine. Rip, would you like to see the Banana Boat crew here play together?
Well, I do. Just from the simple fact that I love that the players are taking over the league.
Yeah.
If you think about it, back in the day, it used to be the GMs and the presidents of teams making all the decisions. Then it went to the agents, pretty much putting up super teams or whatever, placing guys on where they want to go to.
Come out.
But from a player standpoint,
Take a full. Don't take a 20.
Hold on.
Take a full time.
Hold on.
I love it.
Take a
You
full. Don't take a
actually
20, man. Get them,
saying
man.
you will love to see these 4 guys team up.
I would love. I mean, you went to go to Orlando and play with Grant Hill.
Matt, get
I
them.
wasn't an all-star.
That was the same thing.
I wasn't
Get 'em,
an
man.
all-star.
You won All-Star then?
No.
You was on the verge of All-Star.
No, I wasn't.
You were still top 5 player in the league.
was
You
gonna
talking
say-
about Hall of Famers Kings right here, bro.
Well, Mac, you were still top 5 player in the league, though, Mac.
Not the time I went to join. No, dude, I was only on my 3rd year.
I don't
Come
wanna
on,
see
It's the
man.
reason why they gave you Mac's money, Mac.
How come,
I
Charles?
don't want to see
even
these guys. Listen, I don't want to see these guys play together. For one, their games don't match.
Right.
CP needs the ball for 20 seconds in the shot clock.
USA basketball.
So does LeBron.
They did it for USA basketball.
Yeah, it's easy to sacrifice during USA
You're
basketball.
destroying the league with this.
The lead is already destroyed, but everybody doing what they're
Look,
doing.
let's
much. Come on, man.
Let's be honest. If and when these guys all got together, it is not right now. We are talking about a couple years down the road, a time when everyone's sort of at the end of their career. I don't even think that they would think if they got together, they would be championship contenders. They would go out, have fun, get to play with their best
I don't see
friends, and
LeBron
make a
slowing
little
down, though,
noise.
right now.
If that
I mean, the man is eventually going to right?
I don't see him slowing
He's
down.
like Benjamin Button.
I understand.
He's really like
I'll say
Benjamin
But
Button.
he will turn 36. He will turn 37. I mean, there is a time these
I
guys
don't know
will
if
be
he
like,
will.
I don't think
This
it's right. I think he already 36.
If that team
might
got
be
together,
40
to say
right
this
now.
right now, the Warriors will beat that team right now.
Right, that's my point.
You can put all them together right now, and Warriors still beat them.
So I think when they are talking about doing this, it is not necessarily as a super team that would break the league. It is to have
I just
some
don't
fun.
wanna see it,
Fans
man.
would like
No,
it, except for you.
Oh, that's a great ticket. It's a great
Right,
ticket.
come
awesome
on.
ticket.
Great
I'll pay for
ticket.
that. We still have more to come on the jump, but first we do have to do our distant replay. This is all the way back on this date in 2000 with a young Baron Davis. Friend of the program.
Got it on the ground, and it's still made it. Davis the draw.
Okay, boom.
Davis
A lot of people forget about Baron, man.
That's 'cause he's not doing
He was a problem.
Here's the problem.
That boy was so
I'm
cold.
happy you showed that because most kids, they don't
They
know
don't
who Baron
know.
Davis is, man. Baron
Well-
Davis was one of the best.
Beast.
Yes.
And then when I was just starting at ESPN, Chauncey and Rip's Pistons team was the first NBA team I really covered on a regular basis for SportsCenter. Look how young we are.
Wow.
Look
We came a long way. Oh, look at that outfit right there. Oh.
That was such a fun group. Chance, Rip, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, and, of course, Sheed. Those guys, I mean, y'all were the opposite of a super team. There was not a single max player on the roster. A lot of these guys were in their 3rd or 4th franchise because things hadn't worked out elsewhere. Chauncey, the guy who would end up as finals MVP. Well, the Pistons were his 5th franchise. There were some people starting to wonder if he was a draft bust, but together, well, all those guys together, they were so much greater than the sum of their parts. I have to say, I have covered a lot of teams since then, a lot of championships. I've never seen a group quite like those guys. They pulled off one of the greatest upsets in NBA Finals history when they beat the Lakers. And that LA team, well, that was a super team. Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Karl Malone. And yet, these guys dismantled them, both physically and mentally. And all of this, I gotta say, was very top of mind for me last night. Not only knowing Rip was going to join us today, but also watching Golden State deliver that beatdown against the Clippers. It's full circle here, right? I mean, here we are again with another super team of Hall of Famers and All-Stars. But the difference is this is now an era of super teams, right? So, Chance, I mean, do you think that your scrappy Pistons team, a team like that, could win a title in this league again? Or in this era of free agency and the way the contracts are, that's done?
Well, I'll say this. And people ask all the time, our great teams, could they beat the Warriors? Could they beat these great teams? To me, it depends on the rules.
Right.
If it's the 2004 mid-2000 rules, we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine, and we will win.
Right.
If it's 2016, where you can't play D and you can't touch a guy, you can't play the way that we played, we're gonna have our hands full. It'll be tough.
But it's also about,
and it's just that simple to me.
yeah, I mean, it's not just about like what kind of players you have, but also just the emotion and the way you guys played together,
Sure,
right?
sure.
It wasn't just about talent with you guys.
Absolutely. We had a great mix. I mean, we were a type of team that just didn't play together on the basketball court. We also shared a lot of special moments off the basketball court. Doing Christmas parties together, spending New Year's Eve at Rasheed Wallace's home.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Can we get that story?
That was an experience. That was an
Good stories
experience.
there.
But what made us so special, and if you match us up to a Golden State Warriors team, was we were able to switch every position. So with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace being our rim protectors on our team, they were great on-ball defenders. So even at times when we played against Cleveland and LeBron James, we would never trap pick and roll. We would just switch and say, all right, Ben or Rashid, guard that person man up.
When you look at their squad and then you look at, say, they're talking about matching up against the Warriors, what do you think?
It's the same. I got to piggyback off of Chauncey. It depends on what era, because the rules make a huge difference in this. In today's game, it allows these guys to run free through the paint off of these screens, and that's what they're great at. But when you can put some wood on them, Ben Robinson, Rashid put some wood on and slow them down.
You don't need max players.
You don't
for
have
that.
those legs. You don't have those fresh legs when you get wood on you throughout the game. So it all depends on what era you play.
And then if you look at Rasheed Wallace, who's going to guard Rasheed? That was always our matchup that we was always going to explore playing against different teams. Nobody could guard him.
Always had an ace in the hole with that.
How much though would you
I
have
tell you
liked
what,
to
this-
see
this a
prime
hell of a
Rasheed versus
matchup, though.
prime Draymond Green?
I mean,
How cool would that have
first
been?
of all, I love Draymond.
Yes.
But they don't belong in the same class.
Really?
Not at all.
No.
Draymond was a pup in our locker room.
He was our guy.
Yes, he used to come in with Jordan
I'm talking about
Dumars.
He's our
Draymond
young
now,
fella.
not your
And
little.
I'm talking about Rasheed then.
Not
I
at all.
think Draymond, although he's very arrogant sometimes,
You're talking about
as he
6'11".
should be,
Yes,
I think
yeah.
Draymond would probably tell you the same thing.
Really?
You're talking about 6'11" with mouth.
Right.
You're talking about Rasheed Wallace.
Trace, you played these guys
I did.
in a memorable series. I'm just
Mac changed our team a
Listen,
lot,
man.
with his comments a couple of times he made out there.
See, I wasn't going to bring that up.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure
I don't
you
know what
did.
you're talking about. But no, we had these guys 3-1, and I'm out there with two rookies in my starting lineup, Gordon Givachek and Drew Gooden, and things were looking promising to us.
And you said.
And I don't know what was said. I don't know. Look at that.
Yeah, you got amnesia.
I know what was said.
I do too. We talked about it.
After 3-1 being up, he got up on the stand.
Yes, he
and
did. With his
said,
chest out too.
It finally feels good that we're going to get out of the first round.
I said,
And that right there is what got him beat.
yes.
That's my guy. But I will say this.
That got us beat?
Yes, it did.
That's what got you beat.
No.
You had a chance of. One thing about it, you let
think David Stern had to do
You let
something.
a sleeping dog sleep.
Absolutely.
Is what you do. You let a sleeping dog sleep. He was averaging 47 on us after 2 games. I will say that. I mean, we couldn't stop him.
We couldn't
until-
stop him at all.
With a
we
very
had
sad
Michael
roster
Curry
we
on
just put up there next to you.
And then we injected Tayshaun into the game and made him be accountable for somebody. He was guarding Michael Curry, who he didn't have to play defense, just offense. We couldn't guard. I mean, he's tough to
No.
guard.
I had to guard him.
That's what happened.
Because
Late in the series, he had to guard me.
I had to start guarding this guy because he went for 40.
Yeah.
And then got on him again, and he went for 40. Back to back.
But you know what was funny? But you know
it
what's
back to
funny
back?
though? Because remember, Rick Carlisle was only playing us 20-something minutes a game. And when T-Mac made that comment, we sat down with Joe, and Rick Carlisle was like, hey, you know what? You can't just play us 20-something minutes a game.
Changed
You
everything.
got to play us 40
You
minutes a
guys went
game.
to the coach and
Just like he was
Oh,
getting
yeah.
playing
Oh,
40
yeah.
minutes a game. And that changed the series.
Now, y'all had been teammates in Toronto
Yeah.
prior to this. Was there a lot of trash talk between the two of you during that series?
No, there was no trash talk.
No, never.
No.
Never.
I was about business.
We always been good.
There's a little trash talk last night with the Warriors-Clippers game. We're just going to segue to that. I'm not sure we learned anything new about either team last night. This was the 7th straight time Golden State beat the Clips. This time, they didn't even have to shoot well to do it. Steph was 0 for 8 from 3. KD was held to 16 on 5 to 17 shooting. They still won. I mean, Tracy, did you learn anything? You were in that building last night. Did you learn anything from that game?
No, I've been telling y'all for the last couple years, this roster, Golden State sets the bar. Like, that's who you're eyeing, right, in the Western Conference. This team doesn't match up well against them. You have 3 non-shooters in your starting lineup. That's Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and Mute. You cannot play these guys against Golden State because they're non-factors. Who's going to do the scoring against these guys? You're sitting here trying to trade twos, while these guys are out here knocking down threes, and their mental toughness wasn't there last night. Blake played. He didn't play smart basketball. I think he bailed when KD was on him defensively. You got to take advantage of that. You got to exploit that. That's what Golden State does so well. They exploit matchups throughout the game. Blake didn't do that last night. He was bailing out when KD was on him. You got to.
And when I look at them too, I kind of say the same thing because when you look at the Clippers, I mean, with their roster, they got to play smash mouth basketball, kind of how we played in Detroit. Last night they were too busy trying to play like Golden State.
Right.
And
That's
I
not
look
good.
at Blake Griffin. He's shooting way too many jump shots. And like Max says, if he goes and says, hey, I'm going to protect the paint, I'm going to dominate the paint, I'm going to force Golden State to make an adjustment on the opposite end and play a bigger lineup for them to compete with them. But right now, they're trying to play like Golden State, and they can't beat them playing that way.
I mean, Tracy, you said that mentally Blake wasn't where you wanted him to be. You, Mr. Team Leader, if you were in that locker room, what would you pull aside Blake, and what would you say? Because he's obviously the talent. All the pieces are right there for him to play the way you guys want him to.
Didn't you try when you played there?
Well, it's funny because you can see why me and this guy is so tight. Everything he just said, I would demand that Blake grip. No, you catch it on the block, and you go to work on the block. Right. You got KD guarding you, who's long, but there's nothing he can do with you down there. Even with Draymond, face him up, make a play. I'm not gonna let you take those jump shots early in the games. I'm not passing it to you out there.
Right.
Listen.
So that's what I would do as a point guard. And once he does that, then we can open it up a little bit.
Somebody has to be demanding on that team. They beat you 6 straight times. Who's going to put their foot down and say enough is enough?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because there is someone who started to do that last night. Just maybe not who you would expect. Former Warrior, current Clippers center Mo Spates. Here's what he told the Orange County Register when asked what the Clippers can do to reach the next level. Quote, first, we need to start really just leaving the refs alone. Guys just got to sacrifice, do some other things than scoring, do some other things than your personal goals. Just try something new. They've been doing it here for 4 or 5 years, and it hasn't been working. So it is time to try something new.
Well said.
Love his voice.
Right?
I think because they need a different voice in that locker room.
Well, see, here's the problem, though.
He just got there.
I like it, though. He got a championship.
He told the truth.
Best player.
And as Rip said, when you win a championship, you have enough equity to say things like that.
Yeah?
Yes.
The issue is this. You need your best players to be saying that.
Right. Well, that's my point. Like, this is Mo Bucket saying that versus CP or Blake.
We never thought Mo would be coming to LA to be a leader.
He has some cachet because of what he's
That's
accomplished.
an issue.
Right.
He has the cachet, but I would love for Blake, for CP, I want to hear those voices.
Correct.
And see, I like it from him, too, because on a simple fact, Blake and CP has been a leader of that team for so many years. So any opportunity you got for another guy to come in and have a voice in that locker room, sometimes when you hear the same voice over and over, guys
like
continue to block it out, you know. So
Right,
now for
that's
him
Like the roll of the eyes.
to come in and have a voice, and he just has success over there, and now he get an opportunity to play against the team that he won a championship with, and they go out and lay an egg. Oh my goodness, something's got to change.
Maybe start to listen
I'm
more.
sorry, but I mean, whatever they do, they can't be going.
They can't.
They should just go home, Tracy. Thanks. You never know. We take a quick break, but there's a lot more to come on The Jump. Is it time for Melo and Phil to go their separate ways? We will discuss. Plus, was the Cavs playing the water bottle challenge during their blowout of the Knicks disrespectful? The guys will weigh in next. This was
The Jump is presented by Dewar's, the world's most awarded blended Scotch whiskey. Live true. Drink responsibly.